Hello. Today, we're diving into one of the greatest transformations of the century, the evolution of the Syrian Revolution. Let's get started. The fall of Assad marks one of the most significant political developments in recent years, with impacts that will be felt for decades to come. A major part of the international dynamics tied to this event is closely linked to Syria's future, a future currently shrouded in uncertainty, with predictions heavily relying on speculation. However, one thing is clear: the 53-year rule of the Assad family over Syria officially came to an end today, December 8, regardless of the direction Syria takes. This monumental shift signifies a heavy cost for the Islamic Republic of Iran, which has invested considerable financial and human resources over the past 14 years to keep Assad in power. For Iran's government, Syria was not just another Arab nation or a typical ally. Syria was Iran's sole ally among Arab countries, the first Arab nation to officially recognize Iran's revolutionary government in 1979 and a steadfast partner over the past 45 years. Moreover, Syria had turned into a battleground for international rivalry, influencing powers across the globe. From Russia, which President-elect Donald Trump now labels as a loser in these developments, to regional competitors like Saudi Arabia and Turkey, who hope this marks the end of the Tehran-Damascus strategic alliance. Since 2015, Russia's military intervention played a critical role in supporting Bashar al-Assad's regime. A weakened Russia, particularly in its competition with other major powers like the United States, means the loss of Iran's most important ally among global powers. The symbolic aspects of Assad's fall also carry significant implications for Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. This collapse represents a notable defeat for the IRGC, a military force driven by ideological goals and central to suppressing domestic political dissent within Iran. Over the years, IRGC propaganda and its affiliates raised considerable expectations regarding their influence and power in the region. Yet, many prominent figures allied with the IRGC have been lost, and now Syria has slipped out of their grasp as well. While Syria's future remains uncertain, one thing is evident: Iran's chances of replicating its influence strategies, as seen in Lebanon, Iraq, or even Yemen, are slim. Unlike these countries, nearly 75% of Syria's population is Sunni, while Shiites, including Alawites, Ismailis, and 12 Shias, collectively constitute only about 10% of the population. Moreover, those currently holding the upper hand in Syria's political shifts are more inclined toward countries like Turkey and Saudi Arabia rather than Iran. Some of these groups have directly battled Iranian forces and suffered blows from the Quds force during the war. The attack on Iran's embassy in Damascus in the early hours following Bashar al-Assad's downfall is a clear indication of how certain Syrian opposition groups view Iran. Syria's exit from the axis of resistance not only severs Iran's land connection to Lebanon but also significantly impacts the regional balance of power. Assad's fall comes at a time when influential figures like Hassan Nasrallah and many other powerful leaders of the axis of resistance have been killed, and groups such as Hamas or Islamic Jihad have suffered devastating setbacks. In recent years, Iran has made significant investments in various sectors of Syria's economy and infrastructure. With the regime change in Damascus, the risk of losing these investments has increased. Additionally, trade agreements and joint projects may be cancelled, further straining Iran's economy, particularly as Tehran continues to face international sanctions. All of this unfolds as Donald Trump is set to enter the White House, with expectations that his administration will soon launch a maximum pressure campaign against the Islamic Republic. Washington's policies are likely to align even more closely with Israel's priorities and interests. These substantial blows come at a time when dissatisfaction with Iran's aggressive foreign policy in the region has echoed in the slogans of Iranian protesters for years. Secular opposition figures argue that many of these activities were undertaken to defend ideological interests rather than national ones. When Saddam Hussein attacked Iran, the Arab world, perceiving Iran's emerging Islamist model as a threat, rallied behind him. However, Assad, despite his claims of leading Arab nationalism, not only refused to support Iraq but also chose not to remain neutral. He sided with Iran. Bashar al-Assad, Hafez's son who rose to power in 2000, soon found himself aligned with Iran. In the post-9/11 world, and especially after the US and UK invasion of Iraq, both Iran and Syria shared a mutual concern: the fear that the powerful US-led military coalition might target them next after Iraq. In 2005, when Lebanese Prime Minister Rafik Hariri was assassinated, plunging Lebanon into a deep crisis, Bashar al-Assad, then the main ally of Hezbollah and leader of the country with an official military presence in Lebanon, came under heavy criticism. Eventually, Syria was forced to withdraw its forces from Lebanon. This turn of events served as a reminder to Assad of his precarious position in regional and global affairs, prompting him to strengthen ties with Iran further. During this period, Iran's strategy for countering American threats involved replicating its Lebanon model in post-Saddam Iraq. By now, the IRGC had gained significant organizational cohesion and established an international arm, the Quds Force, led by Qasem Soleimani. Soleimani played a pivotal role in Iraq by forming militias and supporting existing Shia parties, thereby securing influence and power for Iran. This laid the groundwork for the "axis of resistance" narrative. The turning point, the Arab Spring and the Syrian crisis. The Arab Spring in 2011 marked a significant turning point in Iran-Syria relations, as protests erupted against Assad, bringing him to the brink of collapse. The Quds Force, under Soleimani's leadership, intervened to support Assad's regime, which faced accusations of brutally suppressing unarmed protesters. When Assad's opponents took up arms, Iran's military intervention and support became even more critical. The civil war eventually gave rise to extremist Islamist groups after 2 years, culminating in nearly 14 years of bloodshed and destruction. This long and tragic chapter ended with Assad's fall on December 8, 2024. Thank you for watching my video. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.